Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, welcome back with me, Miss Ira, in the presentation of language assessment, principle and classroom practices. Today we are going to discuss about Chapter 7, Assessing Speaking. Last video we talked about assessing listening, and right now we are going to talk about assessing speaking. These are the subchapter of this chapter, 1 until 6, yeah? Basic types of speaking, designing assessment task, imitative speaking, intensive speaking, responsive speaking, interactive speaking, and then extensive speaking. Okay, the first is basic types of speaking. There are imitative, intensive, responsive, interactive, and extensive or monologue. Imitative is simply the ability to parrot back a word, a phrase, or a sentence, and an intensive, it is the production of short stages of oral language. And responsive, the tasks include interaction and task comprehension, but at the limited level of short conversation. What about interactive? The length and complexity of an interaction are more in interactive tasks than in responsive ones. And then the last is monologue or extensive. The tasks include speeches, oral presentation, and storytelling. The second is designing assessment task, imitative speaking. Okay, for imitative speaking, the assessment task can be word repetition task. Test takers here: pit, pit, pat, fat, vat. I bought a boot yesterday. I bought a boot yesterday. The glow of the candle is growing. The stickers repeat the stimulus. Okay, the scoring scale for repetition task is 2 acceptable pronunciation, 1 comprehensible, partially correct, and 0 silent seriously incorrect. Next, phone pass. It elicits computer-assisted oral production over a telephone. This sticker read aloud. Repeat sentences, say words, and answer the question. Part A. The stickers read aloud selected sentences. For example, traffic is a huge problem in Southern California. Part B. The stickers repeat sentences dictated over the phonics. For example, leave town on the next train. And then C, the stickers answer question with a single word or a short phrase. Would you get water from a bottle or a newspaper? Okay, part D, the stickers here 3 word groups in a random order and link them in a correctly ordered sentence. For example, was reading or my mother or a magazine / magazine. Part E, the stickers have 30 seconds to talk about their opinion about some topics that is dictated over the phone. Topics center on family preferences and choices. Scores are calculated by a computerized scoring template and reported back to the test taker within minutes. Okay, the third is designing assessment task, intensive speaking. For intensive speaking, the assessment task can be directed response task. The test taker here, tell me he went home. Tell me that you like rock music. Tell me that you are interested in tennis and etc. Read. It can be also read aloud task. Read aloud task. Reading aloud is kind of reading where a reader expresses orally every word in the text. Variation of read aloud task is reading a script dialogue, reading sentences containing minimal pairs. Try not to hit the pen too much, and then reading information from a table or chart. And then the advantages of read aloud tests is comparisons between the students are quite simply, and then tests are easy to prepare and other administered, and predictable output, particularly in reliability and scoring. And there's also has disadvantages. It is inauthentic. Expect in this situation, such a parent reading to a child and then sharing a story with someone, and then giving a script oral presentation, and then it's not communicative in real context. That's all the advantages and disadvantages of reading aloud. And then sentence or dialogue completion, task, and oral questionnaires. First, the stickers are given time to read through the dialogue to get its gist. Then the tape or teacher produces one part orally and the test taker respond. The example is on the book, yeah, page 150 and 151. The advantages of sentence dialogue completion is more time to anticipate an answer, no potential ambiguity created by oral misunderstanding or oral interview. And then picture cute task. Picture cute task. A picture cute stimulus requires a description from the test takers. It may elicit a word, a phrase, a story, or incident. Scoring skill intensive task is too comprehensible and acceptable to record from. The one is comprehensible, partially correct, and then 0 or O or seriously incorrect. And then a skill of evaluating interviews about grammar, vocabulary, comprehension, fluency, pronunciation, and task, the objective, the elicited task. And then the next assessment task of intensive speaking is translation. Translation is communicative device in contexts where English is not a native language. English can be called on to be interpreted as a second language. Condition may vary from an instant translation of a native word, phrase, or sentence to a translation of longer text. The advantages of translation is the control of the output and easily specified scoring. The fourth is designing assessment task for responsive speaking. It can be assessment question and answer, yeah? Question and answer. For example, what is this called in English? What is this called in English to elicit a predetermined correct response? And then what are the steps government should take, if any, to stem the rate of deforestation in tropical countries, given more opportunity to purchase meaningful language in response? And then question eliciting open-ended response. Open-ended response. What do you think about the weather today? Yeah, that's the example of the question, yeah? And then why did you choose your academic major? Have you ever been to the US before? What other countries have you visited? Why did you go there? What did you like to be? What you like best about it? Yeah. And then giving instruction and direction. For example, how to operate an appliance, how to put the books held together, or how to create a dish. The scoring based on comprehensibility and also specified grammatical and or discourse categories. Eliciting instruction or direction, test taker here. Describe how to make a typical dish. What's good to receive for making blah, blah, blah? How do you can access email on a PC computer? How to get from blah, blah, blah to blah, blah, blah in your city? Test takers respond. The test taker respond. What should be the answer? And then eliciting instruction and interaction still. The task should require the test taker to produce at least 5 or 6 sentences, use a familiar topic, and test linguistic competence. Paraphrasing is also responsive for responsive speaking, yeah? Paraphrasing a story and paraphrasing a phone message. Okay, page 162 on a language assessment principle and classroom practices. Douglas Brown, yeah? And then consideration of paraphrasing, the process elicited short stretches of output. The criterion is being assessed. Is it a listening task more than production? Does it test short-term memory rather than linguistic ability? And how does the teacher determine scoring responses? And then 22. I mean, I mean assessment task still in responsive speaking, yeah. TSE, test of spoken English. TSE is a 20 minutes audio tape test of oral language ability within an academic or professional environment. TSE scores are used by many North American institutions of higher education. For example, the items in TOEFL, yeah, and then scoring a holistic score ranging from 20 until 60 about performance, dictation, diction, and then appropriateness and coherence. And the fifth is designing assessment tasks, interactive speaking. For interactive speaking, we have oral interview. A test administrator and test takers sit down in a direct face-to-face exchange and proceed through a protocol of question and directive. And length from 5 to 45 minutes, yeah. And then a framework of oral proficiency testing. There are 4 stages. The first is warm-up, level check, probe, and wind down. Warm-up, the interviewer direct virtual introduction, help the test taker become comfortable with the situation and approach the format, and then reaches anxieties. A level check through the proclaimed QS. The test taker responds using expected forms and function. And then probe stage. In this phase, test takers go to the highest of their ability and extend beyond the limits of the interview's expectation. And then the last is wind down. The interviewer encourages the test takers to relax with some easy questions such that TTS mind at ease and provides information about when and where to obtain the result of the interview. This part is not scored, okay? All right. And the next example question of an oral interview. Warm-up, level check. This is the example, yeah? Warm-up, how are you? What's your name? What's the country you're from? Let me tell you about this interview. And then level check, how long have you been in this city? Tell me about your family. What is your major? How long have you been working at your degree? What are your hobbies or interests? And etc. And then the group. What are your goals for learning English in this program? Describe your academic field to me. What do you like or dislike about it? Describe someone you greatly respect and tell me why you respect that person. And then went on. Did you feel okay about this interview? All right. You'll get your result from this interview next week. Do you have any question to ask? It was interesting to talk with you. Best wishes. Okay, that's the example from simple question and oral interview. Okay, next. The next is role play. It is a popular pedagogical activity in communicative language teaching classes. The test administrator must be determined the assessment objective of the role play. For example, pretend that you are a tourist asking me for direction. You are buying a necklace from me in a flea market and want a lower price. So in the role play, we give a case, we give a character, we explain to them, and then they try to play a role, yeah. And then discussion and conversation. As informal techniques to assess learners' DNC over a level of authentic discussion and conversation over a level of authenticity and spontaneity that other assessment techniques may not provide. Clarifying, questioning, paraphrasing, intonation pattern, body language, eye contact, and then other social linguistic factors. Then CAMS or competency interview guidelines. Okay, the sixth is designing assessment task, extensive speaking. Okay, this one is for extensive speaking, everyone. Extensive speaking tasks are frequently variation on monologues, usually with minimal verbal interaction. And then oral, for example, the one is oral presentation. presenting a report, a paper, a marketing plan, a sales idea, a design of a new product, or a method. And then rules of effective assessment is specify the criteria and appropriate task, elicit optimal output, establish practical reliable scoring procedures, and an oral presentation checklist. 3 for excellent, 2 good, 1 fair, and 0 or O poor. Next, the content. The purpose of objective of the presentation was accomplished. The introduction was lively and caught many attention. The main idea or the point was clearly stated toward the beginning. The support points were clearly expressed and supported well by fact and arguments. The conclusion restated the main idea or purpose. Okay, and then next is delivery. The speaker used gesture and body language well. The speaker maintained eye contact with the audience, and then the speaker's language was natural and fluent. The volume of speech was appropriate. The rate of speech was appropriate. The pronunciation was clear and comprehensible. And then the grammar was correct and didn't prevent understanding. Its visual aids, handout, etc. effectively showed enthusiasm and interest. Respond to audience questions well. Okay. And the next is it's still an extensive speaking, yeah? The assessment task can be picture cute storytelling. At this level, a picture or a series of pictures is used to a stimulus for a longer story or description. The objective of eliciting narrative discourse needs to be clear. For example, are you testing for oral vocabulary? For example, girl, telephone, wet, and then for time relatives before, after, when, for sentence connectors, then, so, and then for past tense or irregular verbs, walk, drink, rang, or for first in general, criteria for scoring need to be clear. And then next is retelling a story. Retelling a story, news event. The stickers here read a story or new event that they are asked to retell. It differs from the paraphrasing task discussed above, and that is a longer stretch of discourse and a different genre. Translation. The next is translation. Yeah, longer texts are presented for the test taker to read in the native language and then translate into English. Texts vary in words, dialogue, direction, play, movie, etc. The advantages of translation is the control of the content, vocabulary, grammatical, and discourse features. Disadvantages is a highly specialized skill is needed. All right, everyone. That's all that we can talk about chapter 6, yeah? 6 or about this chapter. Okay? I mean chapter 7. Okay, that's all that we can talk about chapter 7. And then don't forget to read the book. To read this book, yeah? Which one? This one. Okay. Language assessment principle and classroom practices. Okay, thank you for watching this video. See you on the next video. Bye-bye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.